What's up, guys? So this is a video on a couple different methods you can use to remove an extremely seized Subaru wheel bearing. This one was probably the most seized one I have ever seen. It was completely seized inside of this knuckle. I tried every single method and finally the last one worked. So method number one, okay? Usually the wheel bearing's on there, okay? It's inside of here. And your CV axle is inside of there, okay? This is a wheel bearing puller. And in most cases, you use this and it pushes on the CV axle. And in most cases, a little bit of hammer, a little bit of heat. This should do the trick in conjunction with method number two. Okay, so method number two, what you're going to do, okay, so inside of here, you know, this goes over that. And what you're going to do is take the wheel bearing bolts and thread them in. Okay, you thread them in a little bit, but you don't take them out all the way. And what that's going to do, it's going to thread into this wheel bearing. And usually what I do is, you know, I take a socket and an air hammer, and I use the air hammer on all four of these bolts. I have an air hammer over there, but what you do while it's inside of there, air hammer these. And a lot of times that works for me, use an air hammer or taking and putting an extension and hitting on all four of these with a hammer. So, you know, let's say sometimes the CV axle is seized inside of the wheel bearing and sometimes the wheel bearing is seized to the knuckle. So using this and that should be about like 80% of most of you guys, and that should deal with it. But in my case, where it was so rusted and seized to the point where nothing was working, I mean, at that point, usually you don't want to hammer. What you don't want to do is hammer that because you could risk messing up the CV axle. But at that point, I'd already got the whole fucking wheel bearing just separated. So there was nothing I could do. So the last method is you have to completely remove the knuckle, the steering knuckle, from the car. And what I did is I just have a cheap Harbor Freight shop press. It was on sale for like $100. And I used their ball joint separator kit, which, I mean, you could try to rig that up, but I used this bit right here in it, and I put the shop press on it. I took a torch, I heated this up, I tapped on it with a hammer, and I put some ass on it, and that finally did the trick, and it busted this out. But, I mean, this was the most seized wheel bearing I have ever seen. I mean, it did not want to come out. It took me a good couple hours to do that. So, you know what? You need to realize if this method and this method's not working, don't sit there and try for hours and get defeated. It wasn't even that hard to take this off, take the knuckle off. And even if you don't have a shop press, you can still get to it. You can still try to hammer this out now that you have room to hammer on it. You know, you could put it on blocks and hammer on the bolts or do whatever. Obviously, you know, I mean, I don't know, the threads are a little messed up. I'll probably get the bolts. And then obviously, I mean, this thing's just absolutely fucking trashed. So those were a couple methods. Heat, hammers, putting the bolts in, using a wheel bearing puller, and a shop press by removing the knuckle. And I mean, the fifth one, if it's so seasoned there that a shop press won't work, I recommend just going on Amazon and getting a knuckle or just buying a new knuckle and a new wheel bearing. I mean, that's the final one. If this will not come out, that is the final method. Just take the knuckle off, throw it away, get a new knuckle and a new wheel bearing. That's like if you absolutely positively cannot get it out. Hopefully that helps somebody. And yep. And then, you know, while you're in there, you can do whatever you need to do. So see you guys.